When did it all sink in? Did it sink in when you first, after January 1st or after the election? Or I'm sure it takes some time to kind of process it.
I'm not 100% sure it's sunk in yet at all, to be truthful, Ted. I mean, it was remarkable. I mean, it was very exhilarating after the election when I found out what the results had been. And then it kind of lulled a little bit because you still had that whole month and a half before you took office. And then when you came in and you looked at the clock on December 31st and it was 11:59 and 45 seconds, and you realized that in 15 seconds that you were the chief law enforcement officer and that all the calls were coming to you and any information that was put down was on you, and the buck stopped at you. I mean, before it was always nice to go, hold on, let me ask the sheriff.
Yeah.
But now if I say that, I'll be like, it's me. So I'm not sure it's set in yet. It's slowly getting there, but it's not set in yet.
I never thought of that. While the rest of us counted down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the 31st, you're looking at it with a whole different set of eyes.
Yeah, it wasn't 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2020. It was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm the chief law enforcement of the King George County. It was very surreal.
As I drove in today and thinking, and I look, King George is just, it's a great county. But I thought for anybody who thinks, well, King George is this sleepy little area, it's anything but. You're dealing with big city things here.
Absolutely. There's nothing sleepy about King George. Back in the day when I was first starting, you could actually literally drive from the courthouse to Stafford and not pass a car at 2:00 in the morning. And now it's calls 24/7. It's domestics, it's larcenies, it's juveniles, it's mental people having mental problems. It's all the time.
Well, and the thing I think that the people can be assured of, the equipment and the training that your people had, and I see it every year on National Night Out. It's second to none. With the equipment you have here, you've got the same kind of equipment that they do have in the big localities.
Exactly right. We are the 21st century. I know it was kind of brought up through the campaign that they're going to bring us up to speed, that we're the Mayberry of the Northern Neck. Well, yeah. It's not that way. We're 21st century technology, and then we're working through that, and I'm pushing forward for some other programs to really push us over the edge. So.
Well, and you think too of the issues where, I mean, every locality is dealing with opioids and those kind of things. Same in King George.
It's here in King George. I mean, yes, several years ago it was an epidemic. You could literally put that tag on it. But between the task force, the Tri-County task force that we work, and the federal agencies that are assisting us, we've gotten it down to a very manageable results.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm not sure that we've had an intentional opioid overdose in the last several months, almost 6 months to a year. So we've got that into a manageable area for right now.
You think about the sheriffs and the law enforcement in the region, and I think of you. I think of Captain Lighton, who's about to become the acting chief in the city, and in both the sheriffs in Stafford and Spotsylvania. You've all have ties to this area and have been and kind of grew up as far as professionally in this area. That says a lot, and you all have passion for the localities you serve.
Absolutely. I always go around saying I didn't grow up in King George. I matured in King George, and that's so true. I mean, I have kids, well, they're adults now, that coming up to me telling me that I coached them in Little League. I have parents telling me I coached their child in Little League, and it's very, very overwhelming to realize that, I actually have people in the sheriff's office now, working in the sheriff's office, that weren't alive when I started the sheriff's office 27 years ago. So both of us, Brian and myself, have definitely grew up and matured in our areas. When you put down roots, you put down roots. We have ties.
Yeah.
And I love this county. I've never stayed anywhere any longer than I've been here. It's my county.
Now, you can tell there's that passion, and I know as you look ahead to things you want to do, it's because this is not a stepping stone for you. This is where you live.
It is. There's no stepping stone here. It's where I lived, where I planted my roots. My daughters and my son live here. When they don't live here, they grew up and went to school here. They now have their adult lives. But yeah, it's my county.
Well, and you're involved. You're involved in the community. I just found out that I'm going to be doing it. You're going to be doing it. The polar plunge with Special Olympics. You've been involved with Special Olympics. I know, big time, and you've done the polar plunge.
Done the polar plunge. This will be my 4th year, I believe. Maybe it's my 3rd year. But with that brain freeze, it kind of lose the time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But actually, back in the day, myself and another deputy had a program here very similar to that as a fundraiser. We called it the Penguin Plunge.
Yeah.
And we did that for 10 years and got away from it. So Deputy Shriver got me back into going down into Virginia Beach and jumping in the Atlantic. So I'll be down there as well, yes.
Well, as you get going, I know, Sheriff, that you're big on community, and if people want to talk to the sheriff or have issues, you've got an open door.
My door is always open. They call the non-emergency line, the 2049-775-2049. Communications can put them in contact with me anytime, day or night. Open door.
Well, this is exciting. I look forward to working with you in the years ahead, and I just think it's exciting to see some of the things I know that and some of the things we'll be talking about over the years.
Absolutely, Ted. Absolutely, and I'm so looking forward to the future. My problem is I got to take it one day at a time. I want that big chunk of the pie right now, but I got to know I take it one piece at a time, one day at a time, and we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. The county, when they came out in November, was very, very overwhelming and very emotional for me, and I want to thank them for it, because without them, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now talking to you, and I don't want to let them down, and I'm going to work very hard to maintain that level, if not raise it, of law enforcement they're used to.
I think that's so interesting. When we talked in the fall, even after the election, that's one thing you have said to me a number of times. I'm not going to let the people down.
I'm not going to let them down.